Hey there, I'm Rochelle. This is Andrew. What have you been up to?
Well, I guess my journey so far has been from stage three bowel cancer to stage four terminal bowel cancer. 2019 was when I found out that I had big issues. So instead of one or two metastasized tumours, there was eight, and they've got a bit out of control. So there were 8 centimetres and growing into the right lung, which collapsed the right lung and cracked some ribs. And last year was a very tough year. I had pneumonia for 6 months, too long, and then being in bed for so long, I created bed sores, and then I had the cracked ribs as well as pleurisy. It was a real tough journey on top of the cancer journey, really. I mean, I know it's a byproduct of it, but I tell you, it really takes its toll, not just physically. I mean, that was a real physical battle, and it still is. I think just as much as it was a physical battle, it was also a mental battle. You know, going through my head then, I thought I was finished, and I was in that much pain. I cried myself to sleep most nights, but I was in that much pain. I'm just thinking, I just don't want this anymore. I think there's a better option. And you just got to be careful when you start thinking what the better options, or it's not really a better option, but you know what the options are, and all of that goes through your mind when you're in the deepest of places, and that's where I was last year. So it was a challenging year, even though I've been battling this for a few years. It really came to a head when you find that everything's out of control. You know, there's no control and nothing's working. But I'm on a chemo regime now, and other things that seem to be getting some positive action.
Yeah, so we've spoken earlier, and one of the things that you were talking about was that you had a faith.
Yeah, because it's not just a physical journey; it's very much a mental journey as well. So you really have a battlefield of the mind, but you need to have something, I believe, underpinning that. For me, to have a strong faith and to believe that I'll get through this and to believe that I'm healed. Am I seeing any evidence of that at this point of time? It doesn't matter because my end goal is health. So you need a strong faith, I believe, because the battlefield, I call it the battlefield of the mind, because you do go through, and I'm going through so much that it's very easy to just crumble in the head. And I've been there. I've been in the darkest of places, and you just can't go there, and you can't allow yourself to go there. So I believe that you need a focus like that as well to get you out of it. It's not just a physical; it's a whole of body and emotional journey that you can be on. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Then you were talking about community.
Community, yeah, with the community, what was I? Spur me on what we were talking about.
Just in general, how you've come through with so many other things and places, because then we were talking about how then there was the before and the after of your community.
Yeah, very much. Okay. Yeah, so before I was diagnosed, I had two companies, two businesses, and they were my bread and butter, I suppose you'd call it, in life. It kept us very, very busy. And then I started a museum. I had a good collection of military artefacts. It was 300 square metres of artefacts that we put on display, and we had school groups through, we had community groups through. So I registered that as a not-for-profit, which it was, community give offering. And then the community give. Then I registered it as a charity as well. So I started to support people who needed the support through the charity arm of that. But then I found out that I had stage three at that time cancer, and these things come with a toll, I guess, because there's a lot to look after. You to do a lot to manage these things, to keep them alive, to make them viable, to engage people. There is so much work in all of that, and I think the focus, like I said, this was a very big journey diagnosis, and it had to take focus. So the community that I was doing in the community side of things, I then had to fold a lot of that up. But now, in being involved in what you're doing, and if I can share the news in this way, that doesn't matter what you go through, you don't have to hold on to everything yourself, because it's almost automatic. I felt in bed with pneumonia, with pleurisy, in agony, bed sores, and just going through it. You're on your own. You feel like you're in an isolated, dark tunnel. And it's just so easy to get lost in that tunnel. So my goal is doing something like this now. And under the circumstances, and it's not easy, but it's a passion that I still have, because you don't have to live in that space. You just really have to get out of it. You really do. Sorry, I keep going over that because it's just so true, because it's so easy to get caught. And I can just talk from, I guess, experience in that, even though I've done a bit of stuff in my time. At the end of the day, when that really that impales to nothing, doesn't it? When you're in the deepest place, the darkest place.
So you're also talking about projects. So during sometimes you have finished off writing your books, and then now you're on to your next project, as for say, which, like, from my end, the keeping you, the PTSD awareness end, it's more working in and talking about and taking the stigma away, so people are able to then communicate, talk, and let others know that, like Andrew has said, I might be going through a dark phase, but there's always someone who I can communicate with and have that comfortable conversation with.
Yeah, that's right. Very much so. You definitely need that, and you need a focus, and you need a goal, you need a plan. And it really is sitting down and saying, what turns me on, what really makes me go, oh, I think I'd enjoy that. Now, I enjoy writing, and I've written 9 books, and so book number 10. But what I'm really getting excited about now is, from everything I've been through, and I've only told you probably, what would it be, a millionth of what I've really been through, really.
Yeah.
Both physically and mentally. And what I want to do now is actually talking to people like yourself, is can I offer something to anyone else and everyone else? And I can, and I think I can pen something and create something that says that you don't need to live in that space, and there is a big world out there, and there are people that care. There really is a lot of people that care and don't. A lot of people, I think, get scared of what you've got, and I find that I can talk to people and they might race off. And I'm thinking, what are they doing that for? It's because they're scared. They don't know. They know that you're battling for life, so they run away.
Yeah.
But not everybody's like that. But when you understand that, I could write something that says PTSD is a real thing. There is absolutely no doubt. And but there are ways, like I said, with the mental and the faith, and then having the goal, and then saying, I've got to get out of this dark place. I just got to get out of this. And that's what I would keep rolling out of bed and just say, I've got to get out of that space and that place. And if I can write all that and put it together, and people going through this sort of journey, stage 4 cancer journey, that they can read that and go, hey, hey, there is light. There is some light there.
Yeah.
It's creating that light, I guess, is what I'm saying, in the form of a book. And really, I'm quite passionate about putting that together now and helping in any way possible, because I think it helps you helping someone else deal with it too.
Yeah, your everyday life, and that's what has been happening is people are having their everyday life and they're allowed to talk about their everyday life. And what I've been doing right now is been talking to Andrew, and it's been great. And thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
And until next time, everyone, what have you been up to? Bye for now.